Hey everybody, welcome. Today I've got Autobot Agent Knight, the 2024 Hasbro collaboration. And right off the bat, this guy is pretty cool. Pretty cool. I don't know if he's my favorite, but he is pretty cool. So you got your normal standard collaboration G1 style artwork. You got him on the side there. You got all the artwork and the bio and the tech specs there. There he is. You can read that yourself. And moving on, there's the specs. And there he is again. And there he is. And this is the Knight Rider Autobot. And you can see they've got the Knight symbol at the back, some painted tail lights, transparent for the windows, painted black up here, but then molded black on pretty much all the rest of the body. Painted black and silver with a tiny, tiny little Pontiac Arrowhead emblem in the middle. You got your little Autobot insignia right there. Painted headlights and turn signals. There is the bottom visible head syndrome. You can turn his head around, but it's still going to be there. And as usual with, Chug and Legend style, yeah, pretty hollow. Very similar transformation to Gigatron and the whole Sideswipe mold. And then he's got, let's see here. Keep showing up. Come on, flip up. He does have flippable headlights. Come on. There it is. You just got to push down at the back, and there it is. And they're painted, and yeah, they look pretty good. Kind of sit at a weird angle, but look pretty good. He does come with 3 accessories. He comes with 2 guns. Here's one, very small one. Not much detail, and then of course it is just molded in black. And then this one has a little bit more detail, but again, just molded in black, nothing too crazy. They do plug in on the bottom. You get this one, it's got a tab here. That just tabs in right there, and this one's got a small tab at the back. And you can have it facing either direction. But there you go. Rolls very, very nicely. Plastic wheels, but very nicely. And then, of course, the party piece. The awesome part. He has so many.
Thank you, sir. I am the voice of Knight Industry 2000's microprocessor, KITT for easy reference. KIT if you prefer. Hold on, this could be a bit bumpy. So you're sure this is the right way? Very well. Thank you, sir.
So, awesome. I love it. I'm never gonna... Him sitting on a shelf in robot mode, I'm never gonna use it, but it is so cool they did that. That is, of course, the whole reason that the front end is so bulky. You do have to have the 3 LR44 batteries in there. And that's, of course, why that's a pretty bulbous front end. But there he is in his vehicle mode. There's his accessories. And just to give you a sense of size, here is Studio Series 86 Optimus Prime. So you can see he is a hair longer, but, of course, much lower, about the same width. And then here is Masterpiece 12 Takara Sideswipe. So, again, he is a little bit bigger in both ways.
Signing off.
Yeah, did you hear that? When he times out, he says he's signing off. There's that last additional audio effect. So, but anyway, which is good to know, because now that means that the little circuit board inside is shut off, so it's not just draining your battery power constantly. So that's cool. I like that as an electrician. I can appreciate that they actually took the time to make sure that it shuts down. But anyway, so there's your size comparisons. It's a pretty good average it's a little bit bigger than your average chug scale, but it's still a good size in general. So, tiny little spudger there. But let's get down to transformation, which as usual is easy with these guys. We're going to remove his two weapons first. So first thing, we're going to lift up his arms, and you just lift up here on both sides, rotate a little bit. You do not need to go very far. In fact, if you try, you're just going to pop them off the ball joints. And then you just rotate all of this out. And is what it is you're rotating out this piece of the fender, but it's got this little gray tab that plugs in, so you're untabbing that. And you just kind of give it a wiggle. It'll clear the fender, you just got to wiggle it. So you get them up, get them out, then you can rotate these up at the ball joint. But you see how shallow that ball joint is? It's very, very small. I don't remember the reviewer I saw, but one reviewer had an issue with this thing constantly popping off. It was a little funny, but you could tell he was getting very frustrated with it. So it is easy to pop off. You just got to be careful in your movements. Like, move it only as far as you have to. You rotate your arms, a little bit there, a little bit there. All right. We're going to push down on this panel here, and it's going to tab in right there. Now we can lift up on the head. We'll rotate that around, and we'll just leave it up there. It's not all the way, but we'll get that in a second. Now for the back, we'll go ahead and split the doors, which just untab, which just, there you go. Go ahead and lift up on the roof, and then lift up on these two, and then you can just angle it all out. This is gonna be the knee joint right here. So bring it all out, something like that. You can close these up, angle the feet up, and bring the toes out, and split the legs. There's his legs done. Now we'll rotate at the waist. And then you see these double joints here. So bring the head back all the way, and you're going to get the head in through the opening in the hood. You want to collapse these double joints. You've got a tab here on each side of that panel that we flipped in. They're going to go right into here. Let me see if I can. Yeah, there you go. You can. That tab. And that tab. They're going to go into these slots. Sorry, I upgraded my lighting setup slightly, but it still has a problem with these very, very dark painted figures. So, and then that panel that we folded down and clipped into the hood, it's just going to sit right in there. The hinges, you're going to bring them back, collapse them as far as they'll go, and it should all fit pretty well, pretty snug. And then finally, go ahead and bring the windshield area down. It's just going to sit in there. You can angle the doors however you wish. You can have them up, you can have them back, pretty much whatever you think looks best. And then straighten them out, because that is it. Whoops, don't untab him like I just did. That is Agent Knight in his robot mode. And it's a pretty cool robot mode too. So let's get a good close-up at his helmeted face. We got a transparent red for the visor. A little bit of silver paint on his face and around him, and then that little red tab. Other than that, it's all just molded plastic. But he looks good. And let's see, going down the line, we got some silver paint here, molded gray, some blue paint, which is a nice contrast from all the black and red. Then you do have big chest, tiny little bit of a backpack, not much. It's really just this, which, they tell you to leave it like that. You can bring it in a little bit more if you want. And then there is the back. And before we go any further, this wristband is the final accessory. you are just able to leave it on at all times, but it does come separate in the box. I suppose it's supposed to be like a wrist communicator type of deal. But anyway, there he is. Uh, let's see. Articulation wise, his head is on a ball joint, so you've got a little bit of side to side. He'll do a full 360. Uh, with just the ball joint, he can go up to there, and down is pretty much not happening. But because of the joint his head is on, you can get a little down. Then you've got outward motion, but because of that ball joint, you got to be careful. You only get about that far, and that's with this joint and the ball joint, so you don't get much. Then he can do a full 360, but the doors will get in the way. Have a bicep swivel, single jointed elbow, but it is a little bit more than 90. And then a wrist rotation and a little bit of a wrist in and out. Well, just in, sorry. Got a waist rotate, no ab crunch or anything. Legs kick out all the way there, all the way back there, and all the way up there on friction. Has a thigh rotate up there at the hip. The single jointed elbow, knee, and because of the back glass, it'll only do a hair more than 90. Then you have a little bit of side to side on the feet. You've got down, no real up, and your toes can go down because of transformation, but that's about it for articulation. Straighten him back out here. And then we can give him his weapons, the standard 5mm port setup, as Hasbro loves to do, which I do appreciate the uniformity of that. So there you go. So he can be shooting people and, talking on his communicator, which you can get it pretty close to his head. But, if you want to go for a natural style of movement, that's about as close as you can get it. He's got to shout into his own communicator because he can't reach. His chest is too bulky. But there he is, and we'll do those same size comparisons. Here is Studio Series 86 Optimus Prime, and you can see he is almost the same height. That is not very far off. And then here is the Masterpiece 12 Takara Sideswipe, and he's actually a little bit taller than him, which makes sense. He was a little bit bigger in vehicle mode too. So there you go. And his sound box still works because it's the little button on his hood. But other than that, yeah, there's really not much else to him. Overall, he's pretty good. I like him. The molded black plastic everywhere, little tiny bit of an eyesore. Honestly, a little bit of paint would have been nice, would have gone a long way, but I can't really expect that with the collaborations, so actually with Hasbro in general. They just don't do paint very often. So, and also one more thing I did forget to mention, there is weapon storage if you don't mind how it looks. You've got some clear tabs in the window here. You can tab in the weapons, and you can do it. It's different on each side because the small gun has a small tab. So that's kind of the best you can do. This one you can hide pretty well on this slot on either door. This one you got to use the larger slot, which means it's going to hang down. I have not found any better storage. Let's see. Yeah, no, if I use... Okay, so you can put the big gun in the back. It will kind of stick out from the front, but if you really want weapon storage, there it is. Personally, I think that one can be stored, and this one, I'd have that as his main weapon. So he can just keep holding that one. So overall, final thoughts, I'm actually pretty happy with the guy. I think he could have used some better paint, but other than that, he looks pretty cool. The light box, the sound effects, really, really cool. I think that brings together the entire collaboration. And as a fan of Knight Rider in general, as well as a fan of Transformers, I think this was pretty good. This was probably my highest anticipated one. I didn't know they were going to do it, but I was really hoping they would. So in the end, let's see, I think it was $50. That is a little steep for what it is, let's be honest. But you know, I'm pretty much only buying has collaborations from Hasbro at this point, since I've moved on to Masterpiece, and they just don't. Hasbro doesn't do Masterpiece. Takara does, unless it's the Masterpiece movie line, which I don't care about. It's so there's nothing I'm really buying from these guys right now anyway, except these. So you know, I'll let the $50 go for Knight Rider. Any other collaborations? I don't know. But this guy, I think he's worth it. If you're a fan of Knight Rider, or if you're just a fan of the collaboration here, you know, it's not for everybody, but I think it's pretty good. So overall, I would recommend it. But again, I'm a fan of both shows that this guy is from. So, but there you go. Thank you for watching, and until next time, see ya.